1, 2, 3, 4. If you can do all your stuff, what can figure it out? That's how it chooses you.
I'm good. You said you made pancakes this morning.
Oh, yeah. I did. I haven't made pancakes in a while. They were delicious and delightful.
Yeah. They're fun occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it every week or anything, but...
Yeah, I don't like them. I never really have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's a mildly sweet cardboard sponge.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could just drink maple syrup. I can handle this on my own. I don't need a vehicle. I mean, it's all it is absorbs maple syrup. I can do that. Yeah. But
I think I remember us having those discussions about me trying to convince you to like pancakes.
Yeah. I like waffles.
Right.
I like a crispity.
What, and is that what you like about waffles? Is that they're crispy?
Yes, I like that, and I also like they are designed to catch toppings, whereas pancakes are designed to lose them. The waffle is a superior instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have a great waffle recipe, and I think it was last year my family gifted me the tiniest little waffle maker. It's probably 6-inch diameter.
Nice.
And man, you can really make some killer waffles in that little thing.
Mm-hmm. I like the old-timey ones. I like those cast iron clampy ones. Those are so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also, cool. Like, they're indestructible, and they're a great weapon. And they work in a campfire. I mean, come on. They're great. Yeah. So, I haven't been doing I mean, I rode my bike this morning. I took a little bike ride.
That's lovely. Well, you know, I had the realization this week that I'm having a really hard time being a human being in this world right now. Mm. And I mean, I can't say I didn't really know it, but sort of just hit me that I've been falling into some pretty old patterns of disassociation through food and entertainment. Mm-hmm. And disassociation in particular from my body. Like there's something about my physical body and emotions having to be in the world that I've been struggling with. And, you know, it's really frustrating when you see yourself at the bottom of the same damn hole that you've been at the bottom of a million times. You know,
is it frustrating because you're aware that your perception is the thing that needs to be changed?
No, it's the awareness. It's because if you see yourself in that hole and you recognize it, if you know how to get out of it, then it's just an ass ache to make yourself do it. Or if you're not getting out of it, then I feel a sense of guilt. Like, oh, come on, Claire, you're smarter than this. Like, you know this pattern, you know how to get out of it. So the good thing is I started to climb my way out a little bit this week. So I was getting headaches every day, which is that's like teenage, early 20s Claire, like, you know, having headaches from being in the same position all day and consuming too much sugar. And anyway, altered my diet a bit, moved my body a bit, did some yoga, got rid of the headaches. The natural extension of my physical body is that I start taking care of my physical space better. So I've been keeping things tidier and sort of finding myself taking care of business in a more effective way, which is great. Those are all signs of moving in the right direction for me. Now I could slip back tomorrow, you know? Yeah. And it really is all because it's just sometimes it's just fucking hard to be here.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I like fully on board. All of those things make sense to me. Also, I would say there's nothing more boring to me than my own problems. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here again. So now I'm here again, and I'm also fucking bored with myself because I'm here again. Okay.
It's the same fucking story, right?
Right.
I'm like, I love stories.
Right. I was like, oh, I thought I understood this one and I was ready for a new one, but maybe not. I mean, maybe there's something here that I still got to grok or what, or maybe, habits are habits. And when things are stressful, I smoke weed. Maybe it's just that.
Right. Maybe it's just that simple.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, it's let's acknowledge the delicacy of the moment, right? We're less than a month from what could very possibly turn into a coup d'etat by a fascist minority in this country. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can keep that in. I'm happy to say that because that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. And I avoid the news because it makes me very sad. Like, these stupid people saying stupid things makes me sad. So I really limit my intake. Yeah. Because so many people are just like, what? Did you? What? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, all of that totally makes sense. And I'm really proud of you for seeing it, recognizing the pattern again. I mean, it changes a little. Like, and my thing is like, I like...
Yeah, there's always a little more fucked up twist, you know?
Yeah. There's like, oh, this time apparently it's Cheeto based. Okay. So I've changed the snack food involved this time.
But it's this video game now.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey man, we're going to talk about Stardew Valley because it's the best video game. And the fact that you're playing it now, I refuse to believe that's actually a contributor to your problem. I don't believe it. Stardew Valley is the solution, Claire. It's not part of the problem. But also, my favorite thing is to imagine my amygdala as the trickster god living in my head. And the amygdala is a trickster because the amygdala is like, this is dangerous. I need to keep you safe, right? Ha ha ha, the way I'm going to keep you safe is by keeping you hugely fat and in your house high. That's, because it's true. I am physically safe here. Like, my amygdala can continue to exist in these patterns. No problem. Oh my gosh, when it has to process new information, when I start doing yoga 3 times a week and when I ride my bike every day, my amygdala is like, what the fuck is going on?
You're gonna die right now.
Exactly. You're risking everything. Yeah. I'm like, really? I'm not though, buddy. But, he's hard to convince. I don't know why my amygdala is a dude, but he really is.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. He's also the one who carries my internalized patriarchy and my internalized sexism and all of those things.
Such a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. He does well at keeping the organism intact. I'll give him that. But all of the nuance of life, he's just real bad at.
Yeah, well, he's clearly kept you safe for 40 plus years. So.
He's doing great. Yeah. I mean, he's good at his job. He just thinks his job is like a way bigger part of the picture than it is. He keeps trying to do everything. And I'm like, no, your job is safety. And it's, perhaps 10% of the thing that's happening here. And he's like, no, it's everything. It's the most important thing. All right. Yeah. Anyway.
We should tell everyone this is the podcast It Chooses You.
Oh, hello. Yes, it has chosen you this morning. Nice to see you all.
I am Claire Patton.
And I'm Teresa Sparks.
And we are people.
And we are people who talk about things we like. And hey, I hope you like some of them too.
Yeah.
Oh, Tammy finally listened. That's not fair at all. You like how I phrase it that way? We haven't told any of our friends that this exists or told them where to find it. Because that's just not a part of our process with it. Telling people about it is not a part of what we're doing. But I mentioned it to Tammy and she actively sought it out. And she's like, I listen to it all day at work. It's great. I'm like, oh, well, you'll be done in about a week, but that's cool.
That's lovely. Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah, she listened to it and she said very nice things. She listened to, she's listened to several, but she texted me after she'd heard the one, Teresa in Trouble, where I was just telling all the shit I got into and all the weird shit. Yeah. She's like, that, oh my God. And she's like, oh, and I think your read on, she's from New Zealand. And she said, I think your read on Australian Men from Bondi Rescue is spot on. I was like, okay.
Hey, that's about as good of an endorsement as you're going to get.
It really is. It was powerful. It made my day very good. Of course, things being what they are, I was high when I was talking to her, so I didn't fully take it in, but we do what we can. I mean, that's the thing. Like, weed protects you, but it also stops you from experiencing positive things. It's not like you can just choose not to experience the negative things. It stops you from feeling all the emotions. You're like, I just need to cut out the top part of my happiness and the bottom part of my sadness. But no, the top part of my happiness is the shit. I want to get up there more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it. It.
Well, it's your turn this week. What's your deal, Smiley?
It is my turn. Teresa.
Claire.
I love correspondence. I love letters. So I just wanted to talk to you about how wonderful letters and correspondence are. And I've brought some letters to read you.
Nice.
From the archives of history.
All right.
That are, I think, in equal measure, delightful and profound.
So do we call this an episode of epistolary history?
Yeah.
All right. If we call it that, no one will ever listen to it. So we should totally call it that. Epistolary history. What? All right. I'm excited.
I just wanted to have a conversation with you about letters to start with. And then I'll finish with my letters. I don't really have a ton to say on the topic, but I have.
Did you come to class just a little unprepared today?
No, I seriously spent hours, but I just spent hours researching the awesome letters instead of
that was not intended to be blamey. It was intended to be amusing. We always come to this unprepared. Like there's no appreciable difference in content when we prepare versus when we don't.
Yeah, it's true. I just was reminiscing about my childhood in the 80s and the joy of opening the mailbox and finding a letter.
I recently, about 2 months ago, I felt like writing a letter. And so I texted my friend Andy and I said, hey, Andy, where are you living? I'm going to send you a letter. And she said, okay. And I wrote her a letter. I made her a little book and she wrote me back. And so I've recently received a letter. Now this letter contains some very challenging information about her personal life that I will not share on the podcast. But she essentially, because it was a letter and it felt maybe safer or more serious or something, that's how it feels for me. I won't say how it feels for her. It feels more real somehow. She chose to talk about some very difficult things in her life in this letter. And I haven't written her back yet because I've been processing the things she told me. So this is not sexual assault based, by the way, just to be clear. In case people were like afraid. I don't want to have anyone who has experienced that have any anxiety about that. So that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, the writing and sending it off and then, oh my gosh, she wrote me back. Like it was just it's the nicest feeling. And the idea that people just carried this for you. Ultimately, that's what it is. People carried this to a different place for you.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about the difference between, obviously, email and letters. And email's a fantastic fucking invention. I'm really grateful for it. But the letter, there's something about the creation of an object.
Yeah. Yeah.
In writing a letter.
Yeah, and it's a solo, like it's intended, the fascinating thing about it is that it's intended for communication. But I find, I was also a letter writer in my youth. I took it on as sort of like part of a fey identity that I was unable to sustain. But I wrote letters back and forth with lots of my friends for a long time. Because you write it and it's basically like the story of what's happening in this moment in a way. And you send it off and you don't have access to it. You don't remember exactly what you wrote. I mean, some people do probably. I don't remember exactly what I wrote. And then I get back something and it's like, maybe it connects to what I said and maybe it didn't. But it doesn't matter, actually, because it's the same thing's true for my correspondent, which is that it's a moment in their life that they're sort of telling me about. Like a picture of your brain in the moment.
You really meet yourself when you're writing a letter. You have to look at your life and think about what's going on that might be interesting to someone else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, I wrote a few letters earlier this year, sort of during the winter as a a fun activity, and I get really into the decorating. I like to draw funny pictures and
Yeah.
and put stickers and do all kinds of weird. I like the visual of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a letter to a friend's daughter, and I had to sit and think about what funny animal stories I had because she really likes animals. And I ended up writing a story about one of the cats clinging full all fours onto our screen window in the middle of the night and waking us up. And, there was this whole drama of, the noise and us thinking it was a mouse and wondering what it was. And then we didn't see anything and went back to bed. And then it happened again. And,
and then there was a cougar under your bed.
That's right.
That the cat was trying to tell you about. The cougar got in the house. And then we got destroyed by a cougar. Yeah. So we're dead.
It seems like such a... Exactly.
We're podcasting from beyond the grave. That's the story, Claire. You kind of buried the lead on this one.
I did.
The fact that you're a ghost now that's the real deal.
This is our ghost and financial advice podcast.
Yeah, that's right. It's many things. Many things to many people.
Yeah, I had a friend recently on social media post a picture of herself, and she had sort of written on the photo, "It's my birthday. Will you send me some mail?" And so I sent her a piece of mail, and then I got this lovely response, and another letter from her, and the envelope was just filled with all kinds of cool random stuff.
That's awesome.
And it's great. And this is somebody I haven't seen in a few years, somebody I know from the tour circuit. So that was really delightful. There's a cool connection that can come, like obviously the idea of pen pals, writing a complete and total stranger.
Yeah.
You can share so much about yourself in a letter. And I think about too, Julia Child had
Avis DeVoto.
Yeah, Avis DeVoto was one of her staunchest supporters, colleagues, and champions. And they met by mail on accident because Julia Child had written to her husband, and Avis responded.
He'd written a review of some kind of knife saying that the particular metal composition of this knife was inappropriate and shouldn't be used and whatever. And Julia Child wrote him a fan letter saying, "That's exactly right." Yeah.
Did you write any fan letters when you were young?
I don't think so. But then I got a picture of Michael Jackson in the mail once unexpectedly. So maybe I did. I don't, there are only very particular things I remember about my childhood, but I definitely got a picture of Michael Jackson in the mail. So I'm assuming that, and I don't know where it is now because it was signed and I would have kept it, but I didn't, I wasn't looking ahead for that.
I was a fan of many people when I was a kid, but the only fan letter I remember writing was to the film, The Neverending Story.
Oh, that's so, where did you mail it? Did you put it outside and say a spell so a luck dragon would pick it up?
No, I sent it to Warner Brothers, and they actually sent me a press kit with all the photos from the film. It was very sweet.
That's a good person working in the office that day.
Yeah. I my little world was exploded with joy in that moment when I received that package.
Yeah. This is not a letter thing, but I also apparently entered a Hubba Bubba bubblegum competition. And I won.
Oh, wait. I just need to take that in. Yes, proceed.
Can you guess my favorite flavor? That's important.
Grape.
How did you know?
Really?
I don't like grape flavored anything except grape Hubba Bubba. And it's because they put more citric acid in it than most candy companies do, so it's tartar and nicer. Mm-hmm. You're amazing. Oh my God. I feel so seen. Right now.
Well, I got really scared when you paused. You had it was a nice pause, but I thought, oh, fuck. Because I knew it was a test.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't consciously consider it a test. It could have been for sure, but that's really fun. Well, wait, is that true? It doesn't matter. It's not funny. The point is, I won third prize, which was a space meal like a meal astronauts would eat
Wow.
in space. I got dehydrated.
Was it an essay contest? Was
it an essay contest?
What was the brief?
I love that. No, I think I just filled out a postcard and mailed it.
Oh.
I didn't attempt anything. No. And it takes so long, and my memory and my attention span as a child was so short that it took 7 months or something, right? And by that time, I'd completely forgotten all about it. And then I got this package in the mail, and I felt certain that my parents would make me share it with my sister. And so I took it in my room immediately and hid it under my bed. And so I had astronaut food under my bed. Like, I'm hoarding food in my room to keep it away from my sister. I had astronaut food under my bed, and I tried all of it. But the dehydrated ice cream was the only part that was good.
Do you remember what the meals were?
Like dehydrated soup bits, I think.
Why did Hubba Bubba send you a space meal?
What a great question. I'm sure they had a deal with NASA. We could probably look it up. There's probably someone who's very interested in the history of candy competitions and has a whole list.
Well, I wonder if the company, part of their oeuvre was that they manufactured space meals as well. Yeah, this is all.
What a great question. I'm not interested enough to look it up, but I hope you are, because I'd like to know the answer, but only if someone else does the work.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Yep. If you ever needed something that you could snip out of here and say, this is Teresa's personality, like, dink, it's right there. I want to know the answer, but I don't have to look it up myself.
Well, so I love letters, but you just mentioned a postcard. I love postcards too. Mm-hmm. They're delightful and wonderful. But I want to be clear that I do not like cards.
Oh, like Hallmark.
Yeah, I don't like receiving a card in the mail that's like, well, happy birthday, honey.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah,
that can go fuck itself.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned. It's
just a product. It's like, let me see which product reflects my emotional state about this person in this moment. Right. Oh, great. Here's $5. Now I'm going to send a card. I agree with you 100%. I so much prefer when someone just, even on notebook paper, even nothing going on, it's so much nicer to get an actual report of someone's emotional state from their own mind. Yeah. Not filtered through the Hallmark Corporation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today I hate pears. And then today I fucking hate pears. Why is there no card that says that? Because that is a thing that I would like to send somebody. I was thinking about you because you also hate pears, and today I fucking hate them. So yeah.
I always struggled and still kind of do to write in a straight line on a sheet of paper that doesn't have like lines.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff.
I've gotten better, but it is a thing you have to practice. And if you don't write letters very often, it can become pretty frustrating. Especially when you're a kid, it always just trails down the page and you're gradually getting more and more smushed into the left or the right corner, depending on which hand you use to write. Yeah. Did you ever go to camp and write letters home from camp?
I went to Girl Scout camp. And I think it was only a week, so no, I don't remember writing letters. And also, my mom has been through every box in our attic, and no letters exist, and I don't think she would have thrown them away. So
yeah. I went to camp and I wrote letters home, and I mean they were the super classic. Like early in the week, it was like, I miss you. I hate this. Everyone here sucks. And then after 2 or 3 days, I was like, this is the best. I never want to come home.
Yeah. My transition is usually slower than that. But yes, the first time I cry when they leave every time. Not now, but then. Every time I'd be like, they're leaving. Oh God, I have to hang out with these assholes all week. And then 2 days in, I'm like, these are my new best friends.
Yeah.
And we have private jokes now. I feel like somehow it's more acceptable for an only child to be parent-oriented, but when you have a sister, it's a little weird to maintain your parent orientation as long as I did. I'm just filing that away as yet another way for me to judge myself later. Thank you for adding new fuel to that fire.
You are welcome. You are so welcome. I'm here for that.
Oh, but speaking of postcards, so when I was in graduate school, I was lucky enough to attend a university that had a letterpress print shop attached to the writing department. And I was lucky enough to work with a longtime letterpress printer named Ken Michalowski. who ran the alternative press in Grindstone City, Michigan, and then later in Ann Arbor. He's still doing it, as far as I know. And he used to send yearly packets of poetry printed with letterpress equipment on broadsides, etc. And one of the projects he had us do as grad students in the print shop class was make a bunch of postcards that we could then send out. And so starting from the summer before my first year of grad school, I had a stack of 120 postcards that I had printed that I needed to mail. And I don't have them anymore, and so I sent them all, but I have no idea to whom. So somewhere out there are postcards, yes, with my fake-ass publishing company. Not fake. It was real. We bought ISBNs and everything, but no success. Anyway, postcards. Yes, postcards are great. My problem with them is that I don't want postal workers reading my super private thoughts about whatever nonsense I'm thinking about. Although I should maybe be more generous about it, because maybe they're bored as fuck and they have all this stuff that they could read, but it's closed up and they're not allowed to. Maybe we should send postcards just for the postal workers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sending this to a place, but really it's for you. I hope you're having a great day. And then like little drawn finger guns at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, I just love everything about it. My first time in Europe, the airmail envelopes. Do you know the ones that the envelope is the paper you write on? Yeah. Oh, just the texture of that paper, and stamps can be so beautiful. And it's just a work of art. It's really a gift to send a letter, you know?
Wow, you're very positive this morning. I love it.
I've had 2 coffees and pancakes.
I can't quite meet you there. I'm trying really hard, and I love it. I don't want to discourage your enthusiasm, but I'm like, yeah, no, well, I can. Good.
You know what's funny is when I feel enthusiastic, I feel as though I'm less funny.
Oh, no, you're adorable.
When I'm in earnest, I feel like I'm not as funny or entertaining.
You're being very amusing. You amuse me constantly, and I've just told you very recently that I am not amused by anything. And I deliberately avoid listening to people. But I choose to listen to you. I choose you, Claire. It has chosen you.
It has chosen you, too. Well, do you want to hear some letters?
Yeah.
Some delightful and strange letters?
Yeah.
All of these letters come from the fabulous website, lettersofnote.com.
Okay, cool.
Everybody go to Letters of Note. Get lost in their archives, buy their beautiful books, please. The project is just extremely worthwhile and lovely. So this first letter is from Jack Lemmon to Burt Reynolds.
I love Jack Lemmon. R.I.P., buddy.
In 1982, Burt Reynolds donated $10,000 to the Jack Lemmon Burn Center.
Oh. I didn't know he had done that.
Yeah.
Further evidence he's a great dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jack Lemmon sent this response to Burt Reynolds. Dear person, it has come to my attention that you sent a contribution of $10,000 to the Jack Lemmon Burn Center in the Children's Hospital of Buffalo. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry that you couldn't come up with a sizable contribution, but God knows, after all these years, I, as much as anyone, understand the ups and downs of this crazy business. Some years are good, some years are bad, and even though you're obviously on the shit list, I certainly appreciate the fact that you made some kind of effort, no matter how meager. I do think it is important for me to clarify an area of possible confusion on your part. Burn Center has nothing to do with critical reaction to your work. However, it's too fucking late, so we're going to keep the money and help a hell of a lot of kids. One of these days, I'm going to work with you, even if it kills me, and it probably will. Many thanks and love, JL.
I love it. That's great. The most delicate throwing of shade. The most upright, genteel throwing of shade.
I love that he starts at dear person.
Yeah, dear person. And I'm sorry you couldn't come up with any more money. You cheapskate. So great. What year was that again?
1982.
Okay. I'm just imagining both.
The height of Burt Reynolds mania, I do believe.
Yes. Burt and Lonnie in the papers all the time. Yes.
This next letter is from Charlie Parker to his long-term love, Chan Woods.
Okay.
To you. The way I thought was wrong, having not known it, it was right. Here's the proof of my feelings. Don't hate me, love me forever. Beautiful is the world, slow as one to take advantage. Wind up the world the other way, and at the start of the turning of the earth, lie my feelings for thou. To you, shame on me, I love you.
I mean, I love Charlie Parker. I like poetry. That was a very beautiful letter, empirically.
Yeah.
But I definitely am up against that edge of mine where I'm like, would you just fucking say the thing? You don't have to, would you just? Sorry. I've just been in too many poetry readings, man. This is what happens. Like, once you've been to too many, you can't go back. It's not like you can ever detox from it. I've got the same level of poetry in my system now that I will always have. So adding even just a tiny bit more like that, I experienced physical revolution. But lovely letter.
Well, here's a letter. Here's a love-hate letter that's a bit more direct in its expression of feelings. This is from Frida Kahlo to Diego Rivera.
Yeah, this is going to be better.
In 1953, Frida Kahlo was in the hospital suffering from gangrene, and so she was having her leg amputated. She wrote this letter after many tumultuous years of relationship and infidelity on his part. My dear Mr. Diego, I'm writing this letter from a hospital room before I'm admitted into the operating theater. They want me to hurry, but I'm determined to finish writing first, as I don't want to leave anything unfinished, especially now that I know what they're up to. They want to hurt my pride by cutting a leg off. When they told me it would be necessary to amputate, the news didn't affect me the way everybody expected. No, I was already a maimed woman when I lost you, again, for the umpteenth time maybe, and still I survived. I'm not afraid of pain, and you know it. It is almost inherent to my being, although I confess that I suffered, and a great deal, when you cheated on me, every time you did it, not just with my sister, but with so many other women. How did they let themselves be fooled by you? You believe I was furious about Christina, but today I confess that it wasn't because of her. It was because of me and you. First of all, because of me, since I've never been able to understand what you looked and look for, what they give you that I couldn't. Let's not fool ourselves, Diego. I gave you everything that is humanly possible to offer, and we both know that. But still, how the hell do you manage to seduce so many women when you're such an ugly son of a bitch? The reason why I'm writing is not to accuse you of anything more than we've already accused each other of in this and however many more bloody lives. It's because I'm having a leg cut off. Damned thing, it got what it wanted in the end. I told you I've counted myself as incomplete for a long time, but why the fuck does everybody else need to know about it too? Now my fragmentation will be obvious for everyone to see, for you to see. That's why I'm telling you before you hear it on the grapevine. Forgive my not going to your house to say this in person, but given the circumstances and my condition, I'm not allowed to leave the room, not even to use the bathroom. It's not my intention to make you or anyone else feel pity, and I don't want you to feel guilty. I'm writing to let you know I'm releasing you. I'm amputating you. Be happy and never seek me again. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want you to hear from me. If there is anything I'd enjoy before I die, it'd be not having to see your fucking horrible bastard face wandering around my garden. That is all. I can go now to be chopped up in peace. Goodbye from somebody who is crazy and vehemently in love with you. Your Frida.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is a good letter. Yeah.
You like that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a great one. Yes, I like that very much. I mean, she's wonderful. Yeah. You know, the most like decorative lack of bullshit. Like no fault, no ornamentation, no false, no sugar, no, it just, hey, okay, I'm having my leg cut off and I'm cutting you off at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Never darken my tea towels again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How long was it until they were back together after that? A couple years?
I have no idea.
Couple years.
Probably not long.
Yeah. When you can write someone that letter, I mean, she's amazingly brave and wonderful, and so she's probably like that's something not everyone is capable of that she was capable of. But when you can write, when you can be so honest with someone, like, it seems to me to be a whole lot easier to change the state of your relationship with them.
This next letter, this is an exchange from 10-year-old Sophia Bailey Klug in 2012, writing to President Obama.
Yeah.
And Obama's response.
All right.
Dear Barack Obama, I'm Sophia Bailey Klug, your friend who invited you to dinner. You don't remember, okay, that's fine. But I just wanted to tell you that I'm so glad you agree that two men can love each other, because I have two dads and they love each other. But at school, kids think that it's gross and weird, but it really hurts my heart and feelings. So I come to you because you are my hero. If you were me and you had two dads that loved each other and kids at school teased you about it, what would you do? Please respond. I just want to say that you really inspire me, and I hope you win on being the president. You would totally make the world a better place. Your friend Sophia. P.S. Please tell your daughters hi for me. Mm. And hi is capital. Yeah. H-I.
I hope you win on being for president, or whatever that was. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yep.
Barack Obama's response. Dear Sophia, thank you for writing me such a thoughtful letter about your family. Reading it made me proud to be your president and even more hopeful about the future of our nation. In America, no two families look the same. We celebrate this diversity, and we recognize that whether you have two dads or one mom, what matters above all is the love we show one another. You are very fortunate to have two parents who care deeply for you. They are lucky to have such an exceptional daughter in you. Our differences unite us. You and I are blessed to live in a country where we are born equal, no matter what we look like on the outside, where we grow up, or who our parents are. A good rule is to treat others the way you hope they will treat you. Remind your friends at school about this rule if they say something that hurts your feelings. Thanks again for taking the time to write to me. I'm honored to have your support and inspired by your compassion. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to dinner, but I'll be sure to tell Sasha and Malia you say hello. Sincerely, Barack Obama.
Yeah. Remember what it was like to have a human being in the highest office in the land? Remember that? Which is, so I recognize, I want to backpedal out of that. I'm not like trying to dehumanize. I'm just saying compassion is a human value that the current administration completely lacks. Compassion and empathy, also any kind of intellectual ability. Okay, moving on.
Okay, this next one. In 1988.
Ooh, that was a good year.
An 8-year-old girl named Teresa Giacino.
Does she have an H in her name?
No, she spells it like you.
Correct.
In 1988, Teresa Giacino saved up her money for the $12 membership fee to join Willpower, Will Wheaton's fan club.
Nice.
He was 15-year-old star of stage and screen.
Yes.
Not stage, but screen, big screen, little screen. And nothing happened. She never received her membership card. She never received a letter officially recognizing her membership in the... So...
Nobody's in the office that day, man.
That's right.
Nobody is in the office.
So, in 2009, Teresa, a 29-year-old writer, received a package with the items she had been waiting for, along with this letter. Dear 8-year-old Teresa, I wanted to apologize to you for making you wait so long to get your official Willpower fan club membership kit. You see, 15-year-old me is very busy with work and school, and the people who were responsible for getting your membership kit mailed back to you must have made a mistake. It's been a long time since the fan club did anything, but I've enclosed a membership card for you, as well as a wallet photo and a picture that shows you how much I love Batman. Hint, it's a lot. Willpower members got updates about me and my work a few times a year, but the fan club stopped sending those out a long time ago. My latest update, though, goes like this. I got married, I have 2 boys who I love more than anything in the world, and I'm a writer now, just like you. And now, 8-year-old Teresa, I want to tell you something very important before I sign off, so listen closely. When you grow up, you're going to be a great writer. I can't tell you how I know, but I hope you'll trust me. I just do. So stay in school, always do your best, and treat people the way you want to be treated. Thank you for being part of my fan club. Will Wheaton.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's so great. That's so great. I love that. That's wonderful. Yes.
I especially
so
love
great.
I'm a writer just like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I also like that he's writing from his 15-year-old. Like, that's great. 15-year-old me is really busy.
Yeah.
And the person in the office that day fucked up.
Was exactly what you said. No one was there.
Sorry, it's been 21 years. Here's your wallet photo.
No tour of letters would be complete without including one from the great Samuel L. Clemens. A little backstory on this one. This is 1874. Samuel Clemens and Ambrose Bierce had a lifelong friendship and correspondence. And in 1874, Mark Twain's publishers, Chatto and Windus, asked him to write a review of an Ambrose Bierce novel that had just been released, Nuggets and Dust, panned out in California by Dodd Grill. I haven't read it, but I think Dodd Grill is the main character. So basically the publishers thought that the book wasn't doing as well as they had hoped, so they thought that having Mark Twain write a review would boost the sales of the book. Mm-hmm. This is the response they received from Samuel Clemens. Okay. Gentlemen, Dodd Grill, Mr. Bierce, is a personal friend of mine, and I like him exceedingly, but he knows my opinion of the Nuggets and Dust, and so I do not mind exposing it to you. It is the vilest book that exists in print, or very nearly so. If you keep a reader, it is charity to believe he never really read that book, but framed his verdict upon hearsay. Bierce has written some admirable things, fugitive pieces, but none of them are among the nuggets. There is humor in Dodd Grill, but for every laugh that is in his book, there are 5 blushes, 10 shudders, and a vomit. The laugh is too expensive. Yours truly, Samuel L. Clemens.
That's such a great line. Oh, the laugh is too expensive. So great. There are some laughs in the book, but that's such a good line. Oh, that's so great. I mean, do we need proof that he's the best writer America's ever produced?
I would love to be the type of person that people are excited to receive a letter from on that level, Yeah.
Yeah.
This next letter is a cover letter that Robert Paroche, who was a Hollywood writer, award-winning screenwriter.
What movies?
He wrote that he won an Academy Award for the film Battleground, and he also won a Golden Globe. So what had happened was he had a copywriting job in New York, and he left New York and he went out to Hollywood to try and make it in screenwriting. So this was his cover letter at the time, which, by the way, worked. Dear Sir, I like words. I like fat, buttery words such as ooze, turpitude, glutinous, toady. I like solemn, angular, creaky words such as straight-laced, cantankerous, pecunious, valedictory. I like spurious, black-as-white words such as mortician, liquidate, tonsorial, demimonde. I like suave V words such as svengali, svelte, bravura, verve. I like crunchy, brittle, crackly words such as splinter, grapple, jostle, crusty. I like sullen, crabbed, scowling words such as skulk, glower, scabby, churl. I like, oh heavens, my gracious, landsake words such as tricksy, tucker, genteel, horrid. I like elegant, flowery words such as estivate, peregrinate, Elysium, halcyon. I like wormy, squirmy, mealy words such as crawl, blubber, squeal, drip. I like sniggly, chuckling words such as cowlick, gurgle, bubble, and burp. I like the word screenwriter better than copywriter, so I decided to quit my job in a New York advertising agency and try my luck in Hollywood. But before taking the plunge, I went to Europe for a year of study, contemplation, and horsing around. I've just returned, and I still like words. May I have a few with you?
Mm-hmm. Because of all the things that person had read that day. That one was different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's the great thing is, we talk about writing letters. Like, you want to see the mind. Like, show me the shape of your mind today. Yeah.
Yep.
I rock a cover letter. I always get an interview. I rarely get the job, but I always get an interview.
I believe that you get an interview. Yeah.
They read my cover letter and they're like, oh my gosh, we need to talk to her. And then I show up and we have a great time for 15 minutes, during which time, in my attempt to be honest about myself and my ambitions, I make it abundantly clear that I do not wish to be employed. I've had such a great time talking with you. Goodbye.
This next letter was written in 1974. It's a letter from Mark Forstater, who was one of the producers of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Let's just take a minute and talk about what the producers of that film had to do on a daily basis. These coconuts broke. Could you please source some better coconuts? I don't care if you have to go to Spain. Wait, are there coconuts in Spain? I don't care if you have to have them flown in.
So Mark Forstater was writing this letter to another producer, Michael White, about the visit they had just had from the British Board of Film Classification. So this is about the rating of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I should say they talk about a AA rating, which is for ages 14 and over, and an A rating, which is for people 5 to 14. Again, 1974. Dear Mike, the censor's representative, Tony Kerpel, came along to Friday's screening.
Oh, no, hold on. You can't keep reading. Tony Kerpel. Tony Kerpel is the censorship rep, or the whatever. Yeah. Kerpel. Don't Kerpel. This is Tony Kerpel. He's going to tell us which words we can say. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
The censor's representative, Tony Kerpel, came along to Friday's screening at Twickenham, and he gave us his opinion of the film's probable certificate. He thinks the film will be AA, but it would be possible, given some dialogue cuts, to make the film an A rating, which would increase the audience. For an A, we would have to lose as many shits as possible, take Jesus Christ out if possible, lose I fart in your general direction, lose the oral sex, lose oh fuck off, lose we make castanets out of your testicles. I would like to get back to the censor and agree to lose the shits, take the odd Jesus Christ out, and lose oh fuck off, but to retain fart in your general direction, castanets of your testicles, and oral sex, and ask him for an A rating on that basis. Please let me know as soon as possible your attitude to this. Yours sincerely, Mark Forstater.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the best letter. Yep. Yes. I'll agree to lose all the shits, but we need to keep the... Yeah. So good.
All right. In October of 1943, little girl named Carolyn wrote this letter to President Roosevelt. Basically, in the year before, the Army had started using the draft via lottery system to draft soldiers, and she was worried about her father, who had had avoided the draft. Dear Mr. Roosevelt, I am sending in a suggestion, that is, draft fathers alphabetically. I am 10 years old. I live at 3800 H Street. My phone number is 41226. Carolyn Weatherhog.
Oh my God. There's just so much good stuff in here, and I know that you're committed to reading the whole letter, but I mean, my phone number is 4. Give me a call.
It was back when your phone number was either 1, 2, 3, or 4.
That's right.
I just love it. Of course, her last name starts with a W.
Yeah. Weatherhog. Also, Weatherhog is a great name.
Mm-hmm.
Weatherhog. Mm-hmm. What is the Weatherhog? Is it like a sundial? There's like a pig on like a cut out metal pig on a stick, and it spins when the wind picks up. Is it like what are the things that you put on your roof? Weather vane. It's like a weather vane, but it's a pig.
Right, but the way it works is that if the pig's wet, it's raining. If the pig's cold, it's cold.
Or is it a metaphorical name? She loves weather so much. She consumes so much weather. She's a weather hog. She gets all the weather. She's taking... No one else in her neighborhood gets any weather because she gets it all.
Damn weather hogs. In 1993, Federico Fellini died. And there was a piece published in the New York Times by Bruce Weber, where he basically lamented the fact that foreign films are too difficult to understand. And after this piece was published, the New York Times received this response from Martin Scorsese. The piece was called, "Excuse me, I must have missed part of the movie." To the editor, "Excuse me, I must have missed part of the movie," cites Federico Fellini as an example of a filmmaker whose style gets in the way of his storytelling, and whose films, as a result, are not easily accessible to audiences. Broadening that argument, it includes other artists: Ingmar Bergman, James Joyce, Thomas Pynchon, Bernardo Bertolucci, John Cage, Alain Renard, and Andy Warhol. It's not the opinion I find distressing, but the underlying attitude toward artistic expression that is different, difficult, or demanding. Was it necessary to publish this article only a few days after Fellini's death? I feel it's a dangerous attitude, limiting, intolerant. If this is the attitude toward Fellini, one of the old masters, and the most accessible at that, imagine what chance new foreign films and filmmakers have in this country. It reminds me of a beer commercial that ran a while back. The commercial opened with a black and white parody of a foreign film, obviously a combination of Fellini and Bergman. Two young men are watching it, puzzled, in a video store, while a female companion seems more interested. A title comes up, "Why do foreign films have to be so foreign?" The solution is to ignore the foreign film and run an action-adventure tape filled with explosions, much to the chagrin of the woman. It seems the commercial equates negative associations between women and foreign films, weakness, complexity, tedium. I like action-adventure films too. I also like movies that tell a story, but is the American way the only way of telling stories? The issue here is not film theory, but cultural diversity and openness. Diversity guarantees our cultural survival. When the world is fragmenting into groups of intolerance, ignorance, and hatred, film is a powerful tool to knowledge and understanding. To our shame, your article was cited at length by the European press. The attitude that I've been describing celebrates ignorance. It also, unfortunately, confirms the worst fears of European filmmakers. Is this closed-mindedness something we want to pass along to future generations? If you accept the answer in the commercial, why not take it to its natural progression? Why don't they make movies like ours? Why don't they tell stories as we do? Why don't they dress as we do? Why don't they eat as we do? Why don't they talk as we do? Why don't they think as we do? Why don't they worship as we do? Why don't they look like us? Ultimately, who will decide who we are? Martin Scorsese.
Oh, what a surprise. Martin Scorsese is more eloquent about this topic than I am. Go, Martin Scorsese. Yeah. Yeah. That was, I'm sorry, 93?
Yes.
Yeah.
November. Next, a letter from the infamous Clyde Barrow of Bonnie and Clyde fame.
Clyde Barrow, psychopath, says...
is from Clyde Barrow to Henry Ford.
Oh, okay. I want to guess. Can I guess?
Yeah, guess.
Okay, so Clyde Barrow is writing to Henry Ford. And he's saying, "Thank you so much for making such an awesome getaway car. The acceleration is wonderful, but we're finding there's a little drag between second and third gears. Maybe you can look into it."
Let's see if you're right.
Okay.
Dear sir, while I still have got breath in my lungs, I will tell you what a dandy car you make. I have drove Fords exclusively when I could get away with one. For sustained speed and freedom from trouble, the Ford has got every other car skinned. And even if my business hasn't been strictly legal, if it don't hurt anything to tell you, what a fine car you've got in the V8. Yours truly, Clyde Champion Barrow.
Nothing but positivity from Clyde. Nothing but positivity. Nope, no critiques. Thank you, sir. Your car
hit the
is
nail
great.
on the head with that one, T.
That's awesome. I love that.
This one I feel like you probably know. This is a letter from Stephen Fry to a fan, Crystal Nunn. And Crystal wrote to Stephen Fry in 2006 asking for advice on her depression.
Oh, I don't know this one.
April 10th, 2006. This is his response. Dear Crystal, I'm so sorry to hear that life is getting you down at the moment. Goodness knows it can be so tough when nothing seems to fit and little seems to be fulfilling. I'm not sure there's any specific advice I can give that will help bring life back its savor. Although they mean well, it's sometimes quite galling to be reminded how much people love you when you don't love yourself that much. I've found that it's of some help to think of one's moods and feelings about the world as being similar to weather. Here are some obvious things about the weather. It's real. You can't change it by wishing it away. If it's dark and rainy, it really is dark and rainy, and you can't alter it. It might be dark and rainy for 2 weeks in a row. But it will be sunny one day. It isn't under one's control as to when the sun comes out, but come out it will, one day. It really is the same with one's moods, I think. The wrong approach is to believe that they are illusions. They are real. Depression, anxiety, listlessness, these are as real as the weather, and equally not under one's control, not one's fault. But they will pass. They really will. In the same way that one has to accept the weather, so one has to accept how one feels about life sometimes. Today's a crap day is a perfectly realistic approach. It's all about finding a kind of mental umbrella. Hey ho, it's raining inside. It isn't my fault and there's nothing I can do about it but sit it out. But the sun may well come out tomorrow, and when it does, I shall take full advantage. I don't know if any of that is of any use. It may not seem it, and if so, I'm sorry. I just thought I'd drop you a line to wish you well in your search to find a little more pleasure and purpose in life. Very best wishes, Stephen Fry.
I love him.
Yeah. He's the best. And he's the best because he's been honest about his struggles, you know?
Yeah.
In 2012, Chris Hardwick was determined to get Tom Hanks on the Nerdist podcast as a guest.
Okay.
Tom Hanks loves typewriters, and in an effort to grease the wheels a little, Chris Hardwick sent him a 1934 Smith Corona.
Ooh. That's my love language. Vintage typewriters.
Yep. And in response, Chris Hardwick got this letter from Tom Hanks typed on a 1934 Smith Corona. Dear Chris, Ashley, and all the diabolical geniuses at Nerdist Industries. Just who do you think you are to try and bribe me into an appearance on your thing with this gift of the most fantastic Corona silent typewriter made in 1934? You are out of your minds if you think that wow, this thing has great action and this deep crimson color. Wait, I'm not so shallow as to... And it types nearly silently. Oh, okay. I will have my people contact yours and work out some kind of interview process. Damn you all to hell. Signed, Tom Hanks.
Nice. Damn you all to hell is a great way to end a letter. That's awesome.
By the way, he did obviously appear on the Nerdist podcast.
Well, they did their research. They know what he likes. Send him something he likes.
So it turns out that Eric Idle and Prime Minister John Major of England share the exact same birth date.
Mm.
So on his 50th birthday, John Major received this letter from Eric Idle. 12th January 1993. Dear John Major, on the 29th of March, or I guess it wasn't his birthday. Dear John Major, on the 29th of March, you and I will both be 50. Has it ever occurred to you that but for a twist of fate, I should be Prime Minister and you could have been the man in the Nudge Nudge sketch from Monty Python? I hope you don't feel too disappointed. Happy birthday anyway, Eric Idle.
Yeah, apart from the twist of fate where John Major is not at all entertaining. Apart from that.
Yeah.
I fully believe Eric Idle could have been prime minister and it would have been fine. Like, that would be fine. He would probably do a decent job at that. But John Major cannot be in Monty Python.
Absolutely not. This last letter is from Jim Henson to his children.
Dude, are you going to read a letter that he wrote before he died? Are we ending this on Jim Henson's death letter? Come on! Okay, good. I'm ready.
It's really beautiful.
I know, I believe it. I just got over my Stephen Fry tears, though. All right. I'm ready.
So before he died, he wrote a couple of letters. So this is the letter to his children. First of all, don't feel bad that I'm gone. While I will miss spending time with each of you, I'm sure it will be an interesting time for me, and I look forward to seeing all of you when you come over. To each of you, I send my love. If on this side of life I'm able to watch over and help you out, know that I will. If I can't, I'm sure I can at least be waiting for you when you come over. This all may sound silly to you guys, but what the hell? I'm gone, and who can argue with me? Life is meant to be fun and joyous and fulfilling. May each of yours be that. Having each of you as a child of mine has certainly been one of the good things in my life. Know that I've always loved each of you with an eternal, bottomless love. A love that has nothing to do with each other, for I feel my love for each of you is total and all-encompassing. Please watch out for each other and love and forgive everybody. It's a good life. Enjoy it. Yeah.
That was a good one. It made me cry less than I thought, probably because the pressure had been released by the Stephen Fry cry.
The Stephen Fry cry?
The Stephen Fry cry. Yes, it came on fast and hard and then left very easily. That's very sexual. I didn't mean it to be, but ooh, how fun. Stephen Fry came on really fast and hard. Not me. I got the wrong parts, but whatever. It's fine.
A final thing I just wanted to say that I love about letters is that it can be a source of surprise and also a source of anticipation as well. Mm. So you can receive a letter from someone you didn't expect to, which is a delightful surprise. But then it's also a place where you have to wait for a response. And that waiting is really delicious too. Mm. And it's something we don't experience as much these days as we used to.
Yeah. When the time between me deciding I want to buy something on Amazon and clicking the button to start it being shipped to me is 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because of the frequency, because it takes so much time to physically move a piece of paper across a continent, even now, there's something about writing letters that is of a lower frequency than most of the other stuff we do day to day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. It's grounding, I think, for that reason.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was just 15 different stories. You know, each one is just has a different personality, and it's really, we're so lucky to have that, you know, mm-hmm. to have these records of these fascinating and crazy people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. I knew there was something I had to tell you. Okay, so yesterday, this is not related to letters. I have a friend from my permaculture design class who has a house and a backyard in a town near here. And she needed help. And so I went to her house yesterday and helped her install a little kiddie pool for her ducks. Because she has two ducks that she rescued from apparently college kids in Boulder who were keeping them in a rental somehow. I don't really understand. And when they were 7 or 8 weeks old, they're like, oh, these ducks are shitting everywhere. We can't keep ducks in.
They do.
Yeah. Can't keep ducks in a college rental. Okay, we need to get rid of these ducks. So she rescued them from Craigslist. And they're hanging out in the back of her yard. And they are the cutest things. 8-week-old ducks, by the way, are full. They look full grown. They're as big as normal sized ducks. Okay. And one of them has like a light peach colored beak. And one of them has a more yellow beak. Mm-hmm. They're both white. And they were not having us. They were like, no, I'm not interested. They're very social creatures, social and intelligent creatures, I'm told. You should never keep just one duck. You should always have at least 2 because they are very social. But I wanted to go and sweet talk them, as you know, as I talk to every animal. Hello, baby. Oh, you're so beautiful. Do you want to come and get a visit? Every animal I see, wild or domesticated, that is how I speak to them. And I was sweet talking these ducks, and they were not fucking into it. They were like in the back of their little thing looking at me, like arranging their heads so that the one beady eye is between the slats of their structure, so it can like keep clocking me as they're in there.
Right.
So I moved a bunch of dirt, wheelbarrows full of dirt, you know, from the front yard to the backyard, to put rocks around the little kiddie pool to keep it secure, etc. And did a lot of work on their little area yesterday. And then came home and read facts about ducks, one of which is that they don't actually need water. They're fine if they don't have a pool. So that's just a very kind thing she wanted to do for them, is offer them a pool. And then moments after that, she sent me a video of both of them floating in a fucking kiddie pool. Aww. So I made a place where ducks could paddle yesterday.
You affected the world around you.
I did. I changed something for the better for a living creature yesterday.
I am thriving on that kind of stuff right now.
Yeah. Some good shit. Some good shit. Awesome. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. It was great to have you here. I don't know what the fuck thing, you know.
We are Claire and Teresa.
Still true. Still true. You should do what our friend Tammy does and listen to some of our episodes. Or you could write us and tell us how wrong we are or how right we are at itchoosesyoupodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Testing. Great.
Thank you for listening to It Chooses You. Your hosts are Teresa Sparks and Claire Patton. Our theme song is by Bobby Dart. If you'd like to get in touch with us, drop us an email at itchoosesyouPodcast@gmail.com.